In example 3, we want to write a coordinate proof to prove that the segment that joins the vertex angle of an isosceles triangle to the midpoint of its base is perpendicular to its base. Wow, that seems kind of complex, doesn't it? A coordinate proof is nothing more than a show your work proof. You don't have to do two columns with a bunch of explanations and reasons. You do have to show the work with the algebra. Now in this one, what I talked about on the previous page, since I know it's isosceles, I'm going to have it straddle the y-axis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a point to the left of the y-axis. I'll call this point, or to the right, I'll call this point x0 over x and up 0. If I go the same exact distance to the left, that would be negative x0. So I've got this line segment, that's my base. And I'm going to have it go to the y-axis, someplace on the y-axis, so I'll call this point right here and this point right here. Since I'm going to the left and right, that's how I know it's isosceles. I know these two sides are the same. I'm going to call this point 0, y. Now, I want to look at the segment that bisects the vertex angle, that joins the vertex angle to the midpoint of its opposite side. So I'm going to go from 0y down to 0, 0. That's that segment I'm looking at. Well, I know the segment that joins negative x to x, that slope is 0 because it's a horizontal line, isn't it? I could show my work on that one by saying 0 minus 0 over x minus a negative x which would be 0 over 2x, which is 0. So you can see that's your slope formula. And then the slope of the vertical line, well, I know the slope of a vertical line is undefined. So that tells me that this segment is perpendicular to its base. Okay? Now let's write that down. Segment perpendicular to the base. That's the type of work you're going to see. You just write down what you know, and sometimes you have to show a little bit of work. In this case, when we're finding slope, if it's a horizontal and a vertical line, we probably can just count. Let's take a look at example 4. Example 4 says, write a coordinate proof to prove that a drafter's tool is shaped like a right triangle. The length of one side is 10 inches. The length of another side is 5.75 inches. So what I've done is I put this tool on the coordinate plane. I've gone to the right 5.75. I've gone up 10. And just like the previous problem, since I have a horizontal line, I know the slope of my horizontal line is 0. I know the slope of my vertical line is undefined. Whoops. Made that too big. There we go. And since we know 0 and undefined are perpendicular, that makes it a right triangle. I'll write a sentence here. This is a right triangle because the legs are perpendicular. And that's it for your proof.